Now, politics is a dynamic game, and it keeps on changing each and every single day. And the players are also dynamic. They keep on changing their strategies every single day depending on the prevailing political environment and current affairs. And one man who has perfected the art is actually the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And anybody who's been following the politics of the Deputy President should have realized that in the past 6 months alone, the Deputy President has actually changed his strategies 3 times. And the last time he changed his strategy was actually 1 month ago.
Sindio? Juzi waliniambia ati wako na kitu inaitwa system na wako na ingine inaitwa deep state. Mimi nikaambia sawa, na mimi niko na wananchi na Mungu. Tukutane. Ama namna gani? Si namna hiyo? Namna hiyo. The line is drawn. So bado wanahangaika sasa, mara sijui nini.
Nobody would have expected the Deputy President to utter such kind of words this time. But the Deputy President has clearly changed his strategies. So today I want us to look at the new strategies which the Deputy President is using in the hope of outwitting President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. But before we go into those details, if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now back to the main issue. We are now witnessing a bold Deputy President. A Deputy President who is ready to confront his boss. A Deputy President who is now ready to face the issues of corruption. A new Deputy President who is actually focused on his 2022 presidential bid. We are witnessing a Deputy President who is not keen on being associated in any way with the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And in the last 1 month alone, the Deputy President has changed his strategies. And the first strategy which I think the Deputy President is now using is that the Deputy President has decided to decentralize his campaigns. The Deputy President no longer just organize campaigns. Remember, because of the COVID-19, the government decided to ban all political rallies. But the Deputy President has continued with his meetings. But these meetings are actually targeted. If you've been very keen, the Deputy President has been holding series of meetings in Karen. And during those meetings, the attendants, the people who are invited to attend those meetings are actually targeted. He's been meeting youths, women, and even the elderly and the church. But not only that. Now, these meetings are decentralized and the messaging is also decentralized. For example, on Friday, the Deputy President is expected in Mombasa. And while in Mombasa, the Deputy President will be expected to address 2 main issues. The issue of the port and the land question in Mombasa. Those are the major issues at the coast. And these are the 2 issues which made the people of the coastal region to actually love Raila Odinga. So I'm waiting to see the kind of messages he's going to tell them. Because remember, during the last election, Hassan Joho caused so many dramas. We witnessed Hassan Joho storming meetings attended by President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Deputy President. And Hassan Joho actually appeared to be the face of the Mombasa struggle. And they actually nicknamed him Simba. Today, Hassan Joho is in government with Raila Odinga. And the tables have turned. Those who used to support the government by that time, those who used to oppose Joho's stance by that time, are the ones now supporting the Deputy President. So basically, the Deputy President is likely to go to Mombasa and address the issues of the coastal people, specifically the stand which Hassan Joho took before. But he's going to find a way of ensuring that he portrays Raila Odinga as just someone who has failed to deliver. Let us wait and see how the Deputy President is going to deal with that. But the Deputy President has actually decentralized his campaigns. Yesterday, was it yesterday or yesterday but one, the Deputy President met with Ogiek and he's been meeting delegations. The other time he met a delegation from Kajiado. He's been meeting specific church leaders from central Kenya. Kisii, the other day, he met leaders from Kisii. So his campaigns has actually been decentralized. So that's the first strategy he's using. The deputy president no longer just calls church. So say Catholic church, wengine wanatoka sijui wapi. No. Kama ni Catholic, you must come from a specific region. Kama ni vijana, then you have to come from Nairobi, because the youth in Nairobi share the same challenges. So that strategy, in my view, is likely to work for him for now, because it's not capable of. Take, for example, the youths who went to Oscar Sudi from Nyanza. You see, even that meeting was centralized. But in my view, it's working for him. Number two is the bold deputy president who is now ready to confront corruption. In this country, before the COVID billionaires, the face of corruption in this country was the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. And the government had also made it appear that the deputy president was actually behind all corruption scandals in this country. So the deputy president decided to take a backseat and watch. And to his prayers, some people dipped their hands into the COVID money. They dipped their hands. And I want to assure you, if the deputy president was part of the government, his hands would have been deep inside this scandal. But the way sometimes God works mysteriously, the deputy president is now not part of this. And because he's not part of this, he's now using this to remind the Kenyans that these guys walikuwa nasema ati mimi ndio mwizi. Now I'm not part of the government. Now wamehiba. So what do we do? And the other time, ODM party also played into his hands by appearing to call for investigations, to allow for investigations and unfair condemnations, a stand which the deputy president has always stood for before.
We are committed as a government to the fight against corruption. And we are certain and sure that the fight against corruption will be won if it is conducted on the basis of facts and solid evidence in a court of law. It cannot succeed if it proceeds on the basis of falsehood or half-truths in the court and in the drama of media and newspapers. There is a world of a difference.
But because ODM party took this particular stand, the deputy president is now able to actually challenge them on this particular matter.
Mungu ni wajabu kwa sababu the people who gave us long lectures about money in churches, about Christians and church leaders being business people, today they are stammering. Today they are staggering. They don't know what to say. They were telling us the other day, people to take political responsibility, people to resign, people to be taken to court. Today they are telling us, no, wait. Let's wait with the investigations. First, let's do audit, professional audit. Gentlemen, my friends, your doublespeak is so loud and your double standards are so obvious and so glaring.
So confronting corruption is going to help the deputy president in a big way. I'm telling you this because the government had actually planned to portray the deputy president as the most corrupt individual in this country. That was one of the main campaign tools they had intended to use on the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. So unless the president is going to punish everybody and anybody who was involved in this COVID, if that will not happen, then the deputy president is going to run away with these corruption issues. Remember, Raila Odinga has always portrayed himself as a reformist, someone who can fight corruption. So the deputy president, in his own wisdom, is not confronting him. It is telling Kenyans that, look here, these guys used to accuse me of all this, but now I'm not part of this, but they are fully involved in it. So the deputy president is confronting corruption. Before this COVID thing, I never had the deputy president or his allies push for even investigations into any single corruption allegations in this country. They would always jump to defend. Talk of Aurora, talk of NYS, any other scandal, they would never. They just used to defend. But now the deputy president has the opportunity to defend. So which means if he goes out first and defends, what do you expect Uhuru Kenyatta to do, or Reverend Raila Odinga to do? Try to defend again? No, they can't do that. So the deputy president is actually using a reverse psychology on this. And that strategy is working for him, if you ask me. Number 3 is the deputy president is trying to portray Raila Odinga as a conformist. Because we all know the deputy president, all his politics has always revolved around the system, Kanu government. You know, he's never been into opposition really. Because the only time he was almost in opposition, he left Raila Odinga and ODM. Within 1 year, he had left. He couldn't survive in opposition politics. But he's now out to portray Raila as someone who is not a reformist the way he's been projecting himself. Whether it's going to work for him is something I still don't know. And that's why for those who've been following Raila Odinga of late, especially on his official Facebook and Twitter handle, Raila Odinga has been giving Kenyans his history. The last one being the history of how he suffered, on how Ada had to struggle with the family, how he first saw his son, Raila Jr., for the first time after 9 years. So Raila Odinga is also trying now to react, to tell Kenyans that, you see, it's not what this guy is saying. We've really struggled. Today, Raila Odinga is meeting the guy who helped him in a boat to cross to Uganda, the guy from Budalangi, after 40 years. So Raila Odinga is also trying to remind Kenyans about the history. The deputy president is trying so hard to clear that history. Let me play for you, if you didn't listen to it, just Raila Odinga explaining how Ida Odinga stood with him that time, just very briefly.
About Ida, how the kind of things he went through, I don't want to make it very long. Our son, Fidel, no, not Fidel, Junior, Raila Odinga Junior, he first saw me for the first time when he was 9 years old. Because he was just being told that he was a father, but I was away. And then I came out and I stayed with him for only 6 months. Then nikarudi tena huko nyumbani. And then I came out after 1 year. And then I stayed there for 1 year again, then I nikarudi tent. And all that time is Ida. Fidel, Rosemary, and Junior. All that period of time. She was a single mother. And they were chased away from school. She was chased from where she was working in school, Kenya High School, so and with the kids, it was raining, and they didn't know where to go for a long time. So she's gone through a lot. This lady you see here, okay?
Now that's that. There's this conformist and reformist. So Ruto wants Raila Odinga to appear as a conformist. Raila Odinga still trying so hard to appear as a reformist. So we'll see the deputy president trying to portray Raila Odinga as a non-reformer, but Raila Odinga will keep on playing some of these clips, telling Kenyans where we are coming from. Number 4, the fourth strategy, which the deputy president is now using, is to confront the system. Raila Odinga and his allies always believed that the system actually robbed Raila Odinga in 2007, 2013, and 2017. If you've been following the deputy president's politics all that time, he's always insisted that Jubilee government won the elections fairly. But of late, the deputy president is not insisting that the Jubilee government won elections fairly. What the deputy president is trying to tell Kenyans is that I have people, mimi niko na watu. And those Watu, we are going to defeat that system. Remember, he's supposed to be part of the system, but he's been kicked out. So he's telling Kenyans that akona Watu. So the question personally I was asking myself is, let's face it, is it possible that the deputy president has more people than Raila Odinga? I doubt. Raila Odinga had Rift Valley, he had a coastal region. In fact, Raila Odinga at one point didn't only have the central Kenya. But despite that, his victory was still robbed. So the deputy president has, let's say he has central Kenya, and he has the Rift Valley. Which other place? Zero. But the fact is, there is system. So the deputy president is confronting the system because he must give his people hope. He must appear to be the target. So that's his latest strategy. And number 5 is actually an outsider in government. The deputy president is trying to dissociate himself from the government. And this he has done successfully. Why? Because every time there's a scandal in this country now, the deputy president is able to evade. The deputy president is no longer carrying the burden of Jubilee government, Jubilee failure. Those burdens have been transferred to Raila Odinga. And you see, Raila Odinga is not doing much to counter this because, let's face it, there are people who voted for Jubilee in 2013, which was their constitutional right. Jubilee government failed terribly in that past year. We had Eurobond coming into billions. Those monies disappeared. We had the SGR being successfully implemented, but the amount of money allocated to it was tripled. We had corruptions, mega corruption in the first term of Jubilee government. But when it came to 2017, the same people voted for Jubilee government. And these same people who voted for Jubilee government, still voted for Jubilee government with all those failures. Again, we had a rerun. They still woke up, ended up voting for Jubilee government. Then handshake happened 4 months after Uhuru Kenyatta was sworn in, because Uhuru was sworn in, I think we had the election in August, a rerun in October, then Uhuru Kenyatta was sworn in, I think around January. Then by March, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta had a handshake. By that time, these guys after the handshake, immediately, these same guys realized that the government has failed just because Raila Odinga joined. And the deputy president mastered their thinking and decided to appear as an outsider because he wants these guys whose problem is not any other thing but Raila Odinga. So he carried them along as an outsider. So today, all those Jubilee failures, which these people did not see, they're now heaping all those blames on Raila Odinga. The deputy president is now appearing strategically as an outsider. And that strategy is going to work for him because the truth of the matter is the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta has failed. In the second term, the president promised 4 things. The big 4. There was the health, there was the manufacturing, I think there was the infrastructure, and which one? Housing. Those big 4. How far? Do you even have housing? Healthcare has collapsed. So those are the strategies which the deputy president is currently using. And lastly, the deputy president is also not very keen, from what I've observed, on President Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement. The deputy president has decided to pursue his own political path away from President Uhuru Kenyatta. He had hoped on that endorsement, but that endorsement is now not coming. And that's why the deputy president is able to confront his boss. Because previously, the deputy president, nobody would have imagined the deputy president confronting President Uhuru Kenyatta. But today, he's confronting him because he believes that endorsement, which he's been hoping for, is not going to come anytime soon. So those are the latest strategies which the deputy president has developed. And because politics is dynamic, these strategies keep on changing. I'll strategically monitor those changes. And of course, even Raila Odinga has now started changing his strategies. And probably by next week, I'm going to do how Raila Odinga is changing his strategies to counter the moves by the deputy president. Thank you guys if you're watching this video for the first time. And thank you guys for those who've taken their time and watched this video up to this point. By By watching this video up to this point, it means you value this channel. I want to thank you guys, and again to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Without that support, this channel cannot be where it is today. We are big and we are growing because of you guys. And the only request I always make to you guys is to help me create interactions. Give the video a thumbs up if you like, give the video a thumbs down if you don't like. Just that simple. And again, you can always help create interactions just by dropping your comments, because from those comments we can interact and learn a lot. So just help me that. But the best one is to you guys to share this video on your platforms. If you are in WhatsApp, share it. If you are on Facebook, share it. If you are on Twitter, share it. Wherever you can, just do that. And if you have a specific friend who loves politics and probably you think is not part of this channel, just share the links to them. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.